I wanted to take a quick moment today to talk about something that is extremely important if you want to be successful, and that is seizing opportunities and how to get past the barrier that initially happens when you're presented with an opportunity that could change your life. Unfortunately, a lot of people get stuck in the doubt and fear when they're presented with something that goes outside the norm, outside what they're familiar with, outside what they would normally do or what they're used to, right? So familiarity, something what you're familiar with, is the program in your mind, in your psyche that you've been living and being comfortable in, day in day out. It's almost like an automatic program that plays in your brain, right? And that is whether you love your life, don't like your life, there's things happening that you're not happy with. Just because you're not happy with it doesn't mean that you're not comfortable with it or familiar with it. Okay, so many people can be familiar with poverty, familiar with lack, familiar with unhappiness, familiar with just being in a very survival mode. Okay, you can be familiar with that. Just because you're familiar with it doesn't mean that it's helpful. It doesn't mean that it's going to assist you and to actually elevate to your next level or to actually help you achieve your goals. So simply being familiar with something is not an indication, or comfortable with something, it's not an indication that it's good for you. Okay, I just wanted to get that out of the way right away. So if you become familiar, in your life, but you're not happy, I get it. Okay, that happens to almost everybody. So anyway, going back. So your brain, your mind state, your whole existence is based on this program that plays over and over and over again, you know, within yourself. That is what your, mindset, your mind, your brain has become accustomed to, no matter what it is. So when something outside of that familiar platform gets introduced, you know, initially there's that fear factor, that doubt steps in right away. Um, and that happens no matter what, no matter whether, somebody's presenting you with an opportunity of a lifetime. Somebody is telling you, this is how to get out of it. Somebody is saying, I have the key, the answer to assist you. If it takes you outside of your comfort zone, it's going to feel uncomfortable, it's going to feel scary, and you're going to be faced with that initial doubt, that skepticism, right? And I want to explain to you why that happens and how to get past it, okay? Because that little moment of doubt and fear that occurs when you're being presented with something that could take you outside of that familiar status of like survival mode, um, is key to knowing how to maneuver it and how to move past it. Why that happens is, like I said, your brain already has, programmed this, beautiful existence, even if it's not beautiful on the outside, right? But it's familiar, it's comfortable, it's a program that keeps playing over and over and over again. So once somebody, or you see it yourself, you come to a point where something new is being introduced that's better for you. You're going to be faced with that doubt. You're going to be faced with that fear. And that is because your brain recognizes it as something foreign, something outside of your norm. And that means that it's going to have to reshift and reprogram and rechange everything that it's has already been established within yourself, within your life. So because if you know that, okay, because when you know that, you can recognize that I'm feeling doubtful and I'm feeling fearful and I'm feeling a little bit scared, about something that's being presented to me. And you can recognize, okay, it is because my psyche, my mentality, my program is being challenged. It's being challenged to change. It's being challenged to shift. It's being challenged to transform. And if you allow that moment of doubt, that moment of fear, that moment of uncertainty, that moment of, I don't know, to take over, then you know what? Your brain goes back to comfort zone. And you know what? Okay, we didn't allow anything to come and permeate to change, what we've been doing, to change the status quo, what we're experiencing. And you know what? You go back to live your regular survival mode life, right? But if you say, no, I am going to move past this fear. I'm going to, feel fearful and do it anyway and try it anyway. I'm going to, not allow this moment of doubt to prevent me from seizing an opportunity that could change my life. Then it's going to initially feel uncomfortable. And that is because you're saying to yourself, you're saying to your brain, you're saying to your mind that we're going to start changing things. And you think that's comfortable? Even if, everything you've created up to this point, experience up to this point is not the best thing for you, do you think it's going to feel comfortable initially to make, a change to your regular scheduled program? No, it's not. It's going to be very, it's going to initially feel very scary. It's going to, you're going to feel very shaky initially to make that move. But that's normal. That's normal. That's what happens when you're trying to transform your life. It starts with making a choice to try something different to lead you to something better. And that moment that you're feeling doubtful and scared and afraid and fearful, if you say, I'm going to look into this opportunity or this situation or this experience that's different than my norm, and I'm going to move past the fear and give it a chance to teach me something different so I can reprogram my reality to a different direction. Doing that alone literally helps rewire your entire programming to the point that you start to see things, experience things, attract things in a very different reality than what you were previously used to. And this is a major jewel, okay? Fear, doubt, skepticism, being afraid of something should not be the defining factor in you not accepting, a change within your life. Because you can't trust that. A lot of people talk about trusting your intuition. And yes, I'm a big, advocate of trusting your intuition. My intuition's led me, through everything in my life. But I also recognize that when I've been in a very, what I call low level state of existence, which is, very, afraid or survival. When I've been in survival mode, because surviving is not living, guys. Okay, if you're in survival mode right now, let me tell you, there is a better way to experience your life. But when I've been there myself, then I know that my intuition is on guard. So everything that comes my way, is going to cause me a little bit of fear, doubt. But once I learned that it is because of where I am, that everything that is presented to me to take me out of it is going to feel scary, because my brain and my mind have been accustomed to creating this existence for me, even if it's not benefiting me. And then I was able to say, I'm going to do it scared. I'm going to do it afraid. I'm going to, move past this doubt and be like, you know what? I'm trying something different. I'm choosing today to try something different. I'm choosing today to change my life. I don't want to live like this no more. That alone changed my entire life. And from that day, I recognized that doing this often, all of these choices that I've been making that go against my programming, just created a whole new program, a better program, a more abundant program. Is that simple. But it starts with making a choice. It starts with, saying enough is enough. It starts with saying, I want better. It starts with saying, I don't just want a regular mediocre life. I want a beautiful, remarkable life. So, to have a beautiful, remarkable life, you have to make remarkable choices. And you think there's any, doubt, fear, skepticism, involved in that to the people that have actually become successful? If you know somebody successful in your life right now, go ask them. When you first decided to make a choice, was it scary? Did you have fears? Did you have doubts? You know, most of them will say, yeah, I did, but I did it anyway. Because I knew that what I wanted was greater than what I was experiencing, and I was done reliving that same program over and over and over and over again. So today I want to encourage you that if what you've been living is not something that you want to keep experiencing, then it's time to do something different. It's time to do something better. It's time to jump in to different opportunities and just give them a try. What have you got to lose? What have you got to lose? You know, it really breaks my heart sometimes when I'm talking to people and, you know, they're so afraid to try something different that they'd rather stay in, you know, this abyss of negativity or, you know, like poverty or lack of, you know, love, happiness, peace. You can have it all. I can't emphasize that enough. You can have it all. But it starts with one little choice, and that's choosing to move past that initial doubt, fear, and, you know, feeling afraid moment that happens when you're first presented with an opportunity or, you know, an experience that's different than what you're used to. Just remember, what you're used to doesn't mean that it's good for you. What you're used to is just what you've told yourself and your body and your brain that you're familiar with. And like I said initially in this video, just because you're familiar with it does not mean that it's good for you. And it could honestly be harming you every single day. There's a way out. It starts with making that choice. This whole week I've attended some amazing workshops, and you know, something that I've always asked my clients and, you know, my friends, my colleagues, my family, my business partners, but it was asked of me this week, is where do you want to be in 90 days? Why? Why is this important to you? And what are you willing to do to get there? So I'm asking you the same thing. Write it down. Where do you want to be in 90 days? Why is that important to you? And what are you willing to do to get there? And are you willing to move past that initial doubt and fear because you don't know something, because you're afraid to learn something different, because, you know, you become so familiar in your life that, you know, anything that, you know, comes in and gives you a little bit of shakiness that you're going to pass up. What are you passing up though? A new opportunity that could change your life? A new level of living that could take you and your family to a whole nother level? Just because you're scared? Move past it. Write down what you want to do in the next 90 days, what you want to have, what you want to accomplish. What's your main goal? Why is that important to you? What are you willing to do to get there? And then start looking up. Start looking up and seeing the opportunities you've passed up because you've been scared and you're afraid. Trust me, it's going to change your life. And I cannot wait to hear all about it. Guys, I'm always available. You know, you can send me a message on my Facebook pages or Instagram at Success Path Coach. You can also send me an email, successpathcoach@gmail.com. You can also post under this video, but let me know. What do you want to do for yourself? Okay? And are you willing to move past that fear and that doubt? I'd love to hear it. Peace.